We have time for one last comment, maybe two, depends on who comes down. Just kidding, but online here. Online we have Bear Sense saying Pilamia Asqueli with gratitude. He prays that he or she, that we continue to relearn how we can be interconnected with each other. Please email me for ways to be support and service of you. And our tech person BJ is on it. She's got this person's email address and stuff. So thank you for streaming in there. And I just want to say a few more things. They're starting to work with an organization, and this conference has helped them to talk about a lot of things. Just watching it online here. Crow's Feather says that they understand completely, they're still in high school, and are determined to help their Native community as an activist once they finish. Crow's Feather, you can start right now, trust me. That's awesome. We're going to be in contact with you, BJ. Hopefully you're listening here and you're getting their information, so we can do that in a good way. And we're going to take it down to Renee here. Her good words.
Bonjour. It's kind of cleared out in here.
A little bit.
We had a really good session. We had it was moving. People expressed their feelings. And I think that in our Anishinaabe language, there's no real definitive words, you know. Nobody says, I know this. They say, well, I think it's this way, or it could be like this. Or even when they ask where someone has gone, they say, well, he could be over at his mother's house, or maybe he's there, even though they know for sure that that person is there. And this is a humility that is inherent in the language. And I heard some of that today with our people, because we're trying to negotiate the language about this. We're trying to we don't even always know how to think about these concepts. And what I saw in the last few days was when I first came here and when I was first speaking, I was saying, you know, this is in the United States. This is the beginning of this discourse about the rights. We haven't been talking about it a lot. So I saw in the last 3 days that this discourse has moved forward, and people are really thinking hard about how to work with this. In our group, people had very specific things that they were going to do. Mr. Yazzie was saying that he was going to speak to young people and bring that terminology to his community. And he spoke for his young friend there and said he was going to do that too. And Chaz was talking about that we don't just look forward, that we look backwards. We look back through our generations as well for our ways to how to think about this and how to look at it. And if we have those people that are still in our lives, what a blessing it is when we have our ancestors and we have our grandchildren in our lives, and so that's a real blessing. So we were thinking about that. And in the Meday Lodge, there's a path that you walk. You actually physically walk around this lodge. And what they say is that you just look straight down as you're walking. You don't look right or left. And what you will see when you're walking there is you will see the footprints of your own ancestors that were in that very lodge. You know, that our traditions get passed on that way by doing. And so when you walk that and you look at the earth and you watch where you're going, then you will see the footprints of your own ancestors. I think this is really a lot to think about. So there were other people in our group that had real specific things that they wanted to do when they got home, and they gave those reports. One of the things that they want from this, from the organizers, is that they want a listserv and a way to be able to continue this discussion, because it's, as we were saying, it's the beginning of the discussion. And there's a long way to go, and there's a lot to think about. And just even for myself, I feel like I'm just getting it. I don't even really feel like I have a grip on it yet, on this language, this discussion. But I want to, and I'm willing to learn. So they asked for a listserv, and I talked to some of the organizers, and they said that was an easy thing to do. And not just out on Facebook, but a discussion among this group that could continue. So the people in this group can continue to speak with each other and respond. So I asked about it. They said it can happen very easily. So be looking on your computer, because if you put your email down, you'll be getting notification. We'll have to think of like a really cool name for it or something. But it's been a real good experience for me. I'm always drawn to think about the spiritual way of things, and this is a very profound experience. I was really inspired by our Ecuadorian relatives. Man, what a couple of warriors they are, you know. And in our group, I was saying that I was going to go paint my face, but then I was going, oh yeah, I already do now. It's a lipstick. So I want to thank you all for this beautiful experience, and I think we're going to go out to the fire. So now we're oh, okay. Karen's gonna ove on this mic. But,
not yet. She doesn't get to over on the mic yet, because I get to. Ha ha. In response to Keys, someone says, "Yeah, I got my cosmic rap too. LOL." And they wanted to give a shout out to Wrights My Son. I'm gonna say this wrong. Chaslagi Eastern Band is a film producer, so shout out to them, and prayers. They're asking to put their prayers, these guys that can't be here, in the circle for them for when we close out. And so we'll be sure to do that. Put your prayers into the circle. And also people online, Rights of Mother Earth, BJ would like to say that to have rights, we have to build a framework in which to build, and that would be to use the undeniable power of the existence of natural law. And what people don't really get is that whether we enforce natural law or the rights of natural law will do it for us. The alternative of continuing to ignore natural law will be to our end. If that happens, Mother Earth will go on probably quite well and return balance to her lands and to creatures, again setting the natural law. And then somebody jumped in there and said, Facebook is down, and everybody was like, really? Facebook is down? And then somebody said, no fear, we are permanently telepathic and interconnected, LOL. And so they're just saying that we, as Indigenous people, have the original internet, and it's the civilized world that got stupefied about our true natures of things. And so I just thought it was an interesting conversation. Give a shout out to Nighthawk Woman, who says, love and gratitude to each and everyone in attendance. Thank you for live streaming, and sorry, unable to join. Prayers for everybody. Safe travels to their homelands. And HOSAP wants to say the spirit of this conference has been full of dignity, grace, and wisdom. Gratitude to all the speakers and participants. So thank you very much out there. And they're going to continue to email us, and we'll stay in touch with you online. So thank you to our online listeners. And unfortunately, we do have to close out now. We did go over time, but that's okay. Time is relative. So we're going to have Tom and Karen. Karen's going to say a few announcements. Tom's going to close out in a good way, and we're going to go out to our fire there and end in a good way. So I'm going to step down, turn it over. Matsukiradz, thank you.
So let's give some thanks to Kandi. Where's that applause sign? That applause sign. Well, one of the other comments that came out earlier that I'm going to put out as well, and it's written there, is that we should support our indigenous brothers and sisters of the South who are marching for the rights of Mother Earth. And they will continue to march for those rights, as expressed by our sister Patricia. There will be a presentation at the Rio Plus 20 on this demand that there be recognition of the rights of Mother Earth at Rio de Janeiro in June, where world leaders are coming together. And so I believe that, you know, there should be that expression, but they understand as well the process that we are going through in the North, in the belly of the beast, that we are creating opportunities for more dialogue on this, that there will be people taking this back into your families, into your communities, into the programs, people who work within tribal programs, indigenous organizations, but important is within our clans, within our Teoshpayes, within our Dodems, to work within your spiritual centers, your societies, because these are very important discussions. This is will be archived, and we appreciate Earth Cycles, Govinda, and his project. So there will be an archive of the video and any audio of this that you can go back and pull down. We also appreciate the support of Pachamama Alliance, the support of the Global Alliance for Rights of Nature, and as well as the Planning Committee, and most especially our host, Haskell Indian Nations University. And you know, the students here were part of the planning process. Sharina Baker, and she's the person behind the scene. It's been involved with the process all along. But there's many thanks that we have, and for those that are tuned in, we're going to have our final session here is some expressions of thanksgiving for people who have helped out, and then we're going to go offline. We will not have a camera for the final closure at the fire. That fire is dying down at this time, and it's very important that we have fire in all these activities that we're doing, and it gives us the guidance and that understanding that we all seek, that humanity is looking for trying to make another world possible, a better world possible. So I'm going to turn over the mic over to Karen Dallett, who has been very important in the planning process. And so, Karen?
Thank you, Tom. I'm going to continue with some thanks and gratitude that we have for everyone who was engaged over our 7-month period of time coming together to be here with you and streaming live. We couldn't be here without the support of a few people who were strategic to this process. And we all know, we talk and we joke about funding is so hard to come by. But we know when we're doing extraordinary work that the funding shows up. So I'd like to take this time to thank 2 of the founders of the Pachamama Alliance, whose home is located in the territory of the Ohlone people, the Costaloans, in San Francisco, California. Bill and Lynn Twist, Bill who joined us in person today, coming back from Ecuador. Thank you from our hearts. And because, and the world knows them, their organization has a network of over 30,000 isn't the right number, it's probably 130,000 people who know the work of the Pachamama Alliance, who work strategically with our brothers and sisters to the south in Ecuador, doing this great work. They brought the funding to us through Bill and Lynn's phone calls to their friends And they rarely asked them for anything, but they asked. And without a question, these 3 organizations said yes. So I'd like to recognize the Fetzer Institute, the START Fund, and the Global Alliance for Rights of Nature. So thank all of you, and the support of the Pachamama Alliance and the staff there in posting everything about this conference and really reaching out to new communities that don't know about this work. So it was really extraordinary. We're all stuffed, our bellies are full. So we have to thank the catering staff here at Haskell Indian Nations University, Barbara Stumbling Bear and her staff. Thank you so much for nurturing us. We had breakfast every morning with fresh fruits and really good food and amazing lunches and dinners and snacks in between and coffee every moment, hot and fresh. It was like extraordinary. Thank you. We also want to thank people who gave donations online. Without you, we wouldn't have made it all the way through and to be able to walk forward tomorrow to continue this work. And thank you so much. Please continue. Firefly, you're amazing. You called each of us every other day. You sent cookies, and when we unpacked the carton, we found a check from you that blew our minds. Thank you so much for giving us from your heart and sharing your finances with us and the love from the community and the cookies. Amazing. The Haskell Indian Nation students as volunteers, they were here every day from the beginning to the end of every single day. Not only sitting in Dr. Dan Wildcat's office listening and learning in our planning sessions, but here at the desk. It was amazing. And for the Haskell at large, I can't put a value on what Haskell Indian Nations has given, from this auditorium to the grounds to being at the medicine wheel today. Dr. Dan Wildcat, without your guidance and your strength of what you've held here for 27 years, who you are radiates through your students, and how they quote you on stage is just... you're leaving a tremendous legacy. Thank you. Tom mentioned the fire, our fire keepers. We know that without them, we wouldn't be standing here at this moment. They've taken good care of us so we could go out when we felt we needed to go to the fire, to give our tobacco, to smudge ourselves and to say our prayers. Thank you so much for making that happen right out front here and also at the medicine wheel. Thank you. Our prayers are with you and you will never be forgotten. To our singers and dancers and drummers last night, amazing. Thank you for blessing us with your songs and your traditional dance, and your regalia was beautiful. Thank you. Patricia, Marlon, our love is with you forever. And thank you for holding to what we all need, is the life from the rainforest. The lungs of our mother are in your care. Our lungs are connected to your lungs. Thank you. Our hearts are always with your hearts now. Thank you for coming this long way. It wasn't easy. Thank you. I know you've thanked Govinda earlier, but Govinda, you have been amazing every single moment. When things crashed, you helped uncrash. BJ in North Carolina, you untangled the chaos of entanglement and you created harmony. Thank you to everyone, and everyone who's streaming is appreciative. Indian Country Today, thank you. The 13 indigenous grandmothers for sponsoring Grandmother Mona Palaka. Thank you so much for coming. Our Pacific Islanders who came so far, our First Nations people, all of our relations on Turtle Island, we have felt your love, your passion for our mother, for our work in these 7 months. From Bolivia, we know we have never been alone. And from the 35,000 people who were there to the 50,000 people who were in Ecuador marching against our friend's decision, even in Bolivia, on the highway. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of indigenous people standing together. You're all with us today, and we know that. So thank all of you for doing the great work. And the Indigenous Environmental Network. For over 20 years, you have been holding the torch for our people. And so many people don't know about you. I am rallying to raise funds to tell the story of a documentary about your organization because it is needed. And Kees, you are going to be in it. You're going to help moderate it. You're going to help narrate it. You are amazing, your voice, and these people need the support. So through that support, for the tar sands, for what you're facing, Kandi, your tears are shared with all of us for what you go through. And every time I talk to you, I fall more in love with you. And you're just an amazing, I'm like your mom. I'm old enough to be your mom. And I just love you from my heart. You were there on every call, Sharina, Dan. So you can go to ienearth. What a great name, ienearth.org. And you can, PayPal is set up to accept your donations because I'm never embarrassed to ask for assistance for people who do the work, the heavy lifting that Dan and I talk about all the time. It is the heavy lifting, and now the work is just beginning. Out of this conference, so we can continue to work with our indigenous nations, our indigenous peoples, to do the work for our ecosystems, plural. We add the S because it's not one, it's all of us. So please, thank you, you who are streaming. If it's $5 a month, that's awesome. If it's $10 a month, better still. You can give as every single month. It makes it easier on your pocketbook. A pack of cigarettes is $7. Give one pack of cigarettes up and give. Give one tank of gas up. That's probably $90 for some of us now. That would be good too. So we ask for you to support us in every way. And Tom Goldtooth, thank you. Come up here and take this mic, and thanks for being my partner in this conference.
We want to also thank Karen. Karen's been a really strong supporter, very active in the planning process. Dr. Dan Wildcat has been part of this team. We've been on many, many phone calls putting this together, so we're really appreciative of this woman here who pulled this together. Thank you very much. And one thing that our younger generation, we never forget our younger generation, and the daycare center here at Haskell Indian Nations University, they reminded us, and they called themselves the Little Nations. The Little Nations here says, don't forget to recycle. And within that, they're saying, respect Mother Earth as one of the 4th R's of the 3 R's of recycling. So yes, we're concluding now, and I've been talking slow because of the translators, but I have also been known to rap as one of the directors of Indigenous Environmental Network, that we need to build this solidarity, because folks like our brothers Marlon Santi, who we worked together for many years, he's a leader of the Ecuadorian indigenous peoples, the movement there. They've been marching, and they've been defending the sacredness of Mother Earth. And all they're asking is that we recognize and support them in any way we can. The world that's listening, support them. And most important is that prayer, because they're going to pray for the people who are marching on the wetlands issues, the people who are going to go to Washington, D.C. to bring recognition for the protection of our sacred sites and the sacred lands. So it's very important. I'm very inspired of this meeting here in this very historical place, this land here that has a long history to it, but we have cleansed this place by your prayers and your participation to give strength to the faculty here, the Board of Regents, and also to lay a road for the future generations who are going to be coming here. It's very important. So with that said, don't forget that in a couple of months, there's going to be some of us going on this red road to Rio de Janeiro for Rio Plus 20 to tell the world leaders, the World Bank, the financial institution, that our Mother Earth is not for sale. We're going to reject financialization of nature. We're going to reject the commodification of the sacred. So we're going to put this demand out because that's woven into our rights of indigenous peoples, because it's our territories, it's our land, it's our trees, it's our soil, it's our plants, our medicines, our traditional knowledge, our water that they want. So it is a survival, it is a life and death situation. So indigenous peoples, again, on a global level, is on the front line of struggle. So we appreciate all your support here. We call you allies, but we also know that you are standing up and accepting your responsibility for protecting Mother Earth, and we appreciate that. So thank you very much. Govinda's going to go offline now. Thank you, people out there, and we're going to go out to the sacred fire. Thank you.